Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So mere minutes before arguably the biggest hockey game of all time, two teams decided to cook up one of the biggest trades of the entire summer when Linus Ullmark, the biggest goalie on the market, especially after Jacob Markstrom got traded, has been traded to the Ottawa Senators, but not for Jacob Chikrin, not for Shane Pinto. He got traded for Mark Kastelik. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. 25% retained Joonas Korpisalo in the 25th overall pick in this year's draft. Absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. I never thought for a second that the Boston Bruins would be taking on Korpisalo, and especially at only 25%. Obviously, this is a massive win for the Ottawa Senators. They had major goaltending problems. I didn't expect them to go after a goaltender just because I thought Korpisalo was unmovable. He had 4 years left at $4 million, so I'm like, they're not going to go out and get a Markstrom. They're not going to go out and get an Ullmark and pay nearly $10 million for a goalie tandem. Well, the answer to that was ending up packaging 75% of Korpisalo's contract to the Boston Bruins. A just masterclass by Steve Staios. His first massive deal, the Tarasenko one, he was kind of handcuffed with that because he wanted to go to Florida. But this is a massive deal. I don't have like actual graphics ready to go because I'm trying to get ready to watch the Stanley Cup final. I couldn't really load them up. But when looking at these two goalies, of course, it is rapidly different. When looking at Linus Ullmark, his last 5 seasons, .915 on the Buffalo Sabres, .917 on the Buffalo Sabres, then with the Boston Bruins, a .917, a .938, won the guy. This is a reigning Vezina Trophy winner. And then this year, he had a down year at only a .915. And as for Korpisalo, it's all over the place, man. Back in, if he really got his start, let's say 2019, 897, then he was good, 911, then in 894, then in 877, then he got traded midseason. Actually was pretty good this year, but in 55 games this season was just straight up dreadful for the Ottawa Senators, was a bottom 3 starter in the entire NHL. So the fact that the Ottawa Senators now have a guy like Linus Ullmark that I still truly regard as a top 10 goalie in the entire NHL. They don't even, I think, what is it total? Like, I guess the Kastelik doesn't really count, but it's only a $2 million cap hit that they're taking on relative to Korpisalo, they're only retaining $1 million, $3 million out the door. So to just do that, I'm genuinely speechless. This is fantastic for the Ottawa Senators. Their number one need this offseason was clearly to address the goaltending, and you get, in my opinion, the best goaltender on the market. Markstrom maybe, I wouldn't even say Markstrom has a bigger ceiling than Linus Ullmark, because we've seen Linus Ullmark's ceiling, and it's to win the goddamn Vezina. But Linus Ullmark is far more consistent than a Jacob Markstrom. I always would have went out and got an Ullmark, considering Saros probably isn't getting moved. I was always a team Ullmark. Not saying the New Jersey Devils didn't get good value with their deal. I still think that was a solid deal. But this deal is just absolutely fantastic for the Ottawa Senators. When looking at them, they still got to trade Chikrin, so I don't really know what that return's going to look like. But from their perspective, I'm about to get into Boston's, and I'm about to kind of roast them. But for the Ottawa Senators' perspective, you need to be doing absolute flips. You probably don't even care about the game tonight. You're probably popping bottles, not because the Canadian Cup drought might come to an end, considering the fact that you're actually going to be a decent team. Even if Ullmark has another down year and only posts like a 905, that is a massive upgrade for the Ottawa Senators that had like a team 984 this season. When looking at it, Ullmark could have, again, let's go back to this. Let's go back to Linus Ullmark. Ullmark could have, literally his worst season is a 905. This is the kind of caliber of goaltender that we are talking about with this. Every other season has been, I mean, I guess you can't really count these seasons, but every other season has been above a 913. This guy is the definition of consistency. I understand if you don't think that he was a worthy Vezina winner because he was on such a fantastic team, but you cannot deny that this guy is as consistent as it gets in terms of putting up very, very good numbers. Now, when looking at this from a Boston Bruins perspective, I don't really understand this one bit. You're not getting that high of a first-round pick. You're getting an expensive backup goalie that last year posted an .890 save percentage that has 4 years left. It's not like Korpisalo. And how old is Korpisalo? Let me pull up his age. Korpisalo is 30 years old. 4 years left for Korpisalo at $4 million or $3 million cap hit. This is not a buy low kind of candidate for the Boston Bruins. I don't get this. And they're not that young of a team. It's not like, although I do like the idea they didn't have a first round pick this year, so I don't hate the idea of replenish. Actually, this is their own. Is this their own first? Yeah, this is their own first round pick that got traded in the Tyler Bertuzzi trade, then traded to Ottawa in the Alex DeBrincat trade. I just put that together. That is absolutely insane. So they got their first round pick back, but Although I do agree that because they went all in at last year's deadline, they do need to restock the cupboards a little bit in terms of prospects. Still, man, to get a negative asset and then justify that by getting a first-round pick, I don't know how there wasn't a team in the late first round that wasn't just willing to take on Linus Ullmark for just a first-round pick. I'm just shocked that the market was this low, or is Don Sweeney just that high on Korpisalo? Mark Kastelik had 10 points in like 65 games this season, so I don't think that it's him thinking that he's that valuable of an asset. It is just shocking, man. It is genuinely shocking. Again, I thought the Calgary Flames actually did a solid job in that trade, considering Markstrom is older. Markstrom's like 34. Ullmark's only 30 or 31 and way more consistent. But when looking at this deal, the fact that they got a late first-round pick and on top of the fact of taking a negative asset back, it is genuinely shocking by Don Sweeney to do this. I still think the Boston Bruins are going to be a good team next year, but I had them very high because I penciled in them trading Ullmark for a legit second pair defenseman or a top 6 forward, but for them to instead use 3 out of that $5 million of cap hit for Ullmark on this, maybe they go on to flip that first round pick at the draft. But right now, man, I would genuinely give the Ottawa Senators like an A+, like maybe an A just because they did give up a first round pick. And for the Boston Bruins, I think it's like a D+. I think it's like it is so insane. We talk about this. I said it in a TikTok that I made that usually the Ottawa Senators are on the raw end of this deal. The roles are reversed. Ottawa is making the most head-scratching deal of all time. But now Ottawa, it seems like Steve Staios knows what he's doing. And if I'm an Ottawa Senators fan, I am extremely elated. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Just madness. It's 8:10 right now. I'm extremely happy that this is the one time that I'm actually happy that the cup games don't start till like 8:25, like 25 minutes after the fact. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Who do you think wins this deal? Is there any, if you think Boston wins this deal, I want like a full paragraph in the comment section as to why you think that is. And I'll be seeing the next one. I have a video ready to go depending on who wins the Stanley Cup. I might make another video breaking down Game 7. We're going to have 4 videos on the page today. It is absolutely insane. I'll be seeing the next one, which is going to be in like 3 hours.